I guess probably some of the reasons that you might lose your DLA bid would be like, obviously, if you don't have your NAICS codes matching or you let your SAM registration expire, promising delivery times that you can't meet, right? Missing tiny packaging details that cause you depot rejections, which is then basically delivery times that you can't meet.
If you're wanting to win more defense logistical agency contracts, in the next 15 minutes, we're going to show you exactly how to find opportunities, bid smarter, and obviously scale with DLA. And again, we're today with Sarah, again from SAS-GPS. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, Yoel.
Awesome. All right, Sarah. So let's just jump right into it, right? What is DLA and what do they buy?
Okay. So the DLA is, like you said, the Defense Logistics Agency. And they are basically sort of like the organization behind the military's entire supply chain. They handle about $46 billion in procurement annually, spread from everything from like jet fuel, MREs, medical equipment. Like, you know, if you think that somebody in the military uses it, it comes from the DLA. So they manage technically 6 different supply chains. So you have aviation, that's like flight systems, spare parts, engines, right? Land and maritime, tanks, vehicles, electronics, troop support, food, clothing, textiles, medical supplies, materials to construct things, right? And then they do energy, which is fuel and energy management things. Disposition services, that's like recycling, demilitarization, more services there. And then distribution, like warehousing, logistics flow, also a little bit more services there, not just objects, supplies, right? But also services. Right. And they buy things every day. So there's over 10,000 RFQs that can be open on the DIBBS system at any given time. It's just a lot.
Yeah, so they do a lot. Yeah, absolutely. So if you're already selling to the government, right? How do you start then selling to the DLA?
So you have to have your registration for any sort of government contracting. You have to have your registration in SAM.gov. And you need to be synced to the right NAICS code. Like, all of that needs to be correct, right? If it's outdated or it's expired, it's going to cost you your opportunities. And then you should have like a cage code. That's sort of like double checks that you match your SAM record. Then you'll have an account in the DIBBS system. This is where you're going to see pretty much all of, like, or at least 90% of the DLA's supply buys. Then you'll need a PIEE account or some sort of invoicing account for modifications, electronic payments, that kind of stuff. You're going to upload your SPRS score. That's your cybersecurity self-assessment. You know, and there's going to be more kind of changes to cybersecurity rolling out in 2026. So kind of get ready for that. And then, yeah, you'll need to access like your control drawings, your tech data, and things like that. Like, if you're going to need those kind of things, there's a JCP certification, so that you can pull down technical packages. So that's like a lot of higher value work. So that's probably a lot of acronyms and stuff in there. I think if you're looking to get started with the DLA, that one place that you might want to do is contact your Small Business Administration, and they might be able to give you some guidance and also, you know, or point you in the right direction and answer some of your questions. Because like, we don't put people on systems. Like, that's not what we do at SAS-GPS. Like, we're not going to register you on SAM.gov. We're not going to do those things. Most of the time, the SBA, the Small Business Administration, right, you already pay your taxes. So, like, you already paid for it. So go use it because it's free.
Yeah, 100%, right. And again, it's also important to know that, like, work, I mean, because there's a lot of, you know, videos out there of like, oh, you know, like, get your first contract with the DLA within a week. Like, it's a complex, you know, agency, right?
Paperwork. You're going to deal with the government. I promise you, no matter what you do, there's going to be paperwork. And that paperwork's probably going to take more than a week.
100%. Yeah, no. So yeah, I just wanted to state the fact that, like, it is an agency that's probably targeted more like mature businesses that are looking to work with the government, right? So please don't get, you know, sidetracked and like into these ideas that you can just start a business and then start working, like start, you know, bidding on contracts for the government, especially for the DLA. It won't happen.
And you know, unless if you have a really great deal on a like manhole covers or something, you never know. Like,
yeah, I mean, unless you have that, but besides that, you know, kind of difficult to break into, especially if you're a new business, right? So, cool. All right. So then, like, where do you find opportunities? You mentioned the DIBBS, right? Which is like their portal, essentially, where you can see the RFQs and where they submit quotes, correct?
Correct. Yes. You can also like search sam.gov, use your saved searches, catch some of those larger service or sort of solicitations that don't flow through the DOBBS. Um, and I would say like on sam.gov, you're going to find probably a little bit of different kinds of bids as well that you might still before there may be RFPs instead of just RFQs. Not that there's just RFQs in the DLA system, but like
Mm-hmm.
just it's good to check both places. It's good to have your fingers on the sam.gov all the time. The DLA does a
Yep.
forecasting tool as well, and there's the supplier requirements visibility application SRVA. That'll show you sort of like what's coming out in the next 3 to 6 months. That's great. Set up your pipeline. There are no bids lists. So the DLA might say, hey, we needed this item, but they haven't received any quotes for it. Those are great because you're not going to have as many competitors.
Yep.
So if you're serious about growing your company, get those NSNs, FSC codes. Once you see patterns, I think you'll be able to kind of figure it out. You have to kind of really dig into it though.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this, like I said, it's not a simple procedure. This is like again for companies that are a little bit more mature in the government space. All right, cool. So again, obviously, like we have tons of videos that we'll put out here about how to navigate the space, and then for the how to do the safe searches, we'll put the video link at the bottom of. We have a video that actually shows you how to do that, so we'll show that to you guys right here at the bottom. But besides the traditional, like obviously be compliant and follow the rules and make sure that you have. Don't worry, it's all good.
Transitioning on, right?
Okay, so besides like the traditional stuff that you have for businesses, which is like obviously be compliant, like make sure that you have past performance that they want, right? What are some other things that the DLA looks for besides lowest price, which is pretty common in the DLA contracts?
It is really pretty common in DLA contracts because most of these are just quotes, right? So they're really about price, but it's not just about price. It's also about performance reliability, right? So they're looking for what we call LPTA, lowest price technically acceptable, right? So you still have to be technically acceptable. You can't just have the lowest price. So some of the things that they're going to score you on for that LPTA stuff, right? Delivery speed, right? How fast are you getting these there? Late shipments. If you got a bunch of history of getting everything there late, that's going to kill your work. Quality compliance, right? Like, is the quality of your products good? Are they labeled well? Are they packaged right? Like, matchings the markings on all of these things have to exactly match the specs, right? So you need to deliver exactly what you say you're going to deliver. Then you get this SPRS rating, and if your score dips below 80, they might red flag you. And then for recurring buys, the DLA loves vendors with IDIQs in place or LTCs, right? Because it reduces their administrative burden. If you're not on that like IDIQ contract or something, you might struggle. So you do have, and to get on that, you'll probably have to write some sort of technical thing about your company.
Right.
So
absolutely,
you need to have your technical stuff be tight, and then be the lowest price. Pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it is a tough space to compete in, right? Which is why I say again, this is more for like seasoned contractors, right? So like, what is the seasoned contractor's playbook to win in this space?
Okay, so here's what I tell clients every week. 1, stay in your lane. Don't chase every NSN, right? Pick 1 or 2 categories and then go deep instead of like wide, right?
Right.
Reverse engineer your pricing. You can look up pricing information on usaspending.gov. You can oftentimes find the DIBS history, see what the winners have charged for these contracts, right? And then you kind of have like a starting place.
Sure.
Beat the lead times, DLA awards to vendors who deliver early, not just cheap. Standardize your compliance, pre-build your labels, your packing checklists, your QA forms. Do not miss a spec, right? So I love it. In proposals, we say compliance, compliance, compliance. Check it, every stage. And I think the same for delivery to the DLA. Just every part of your business should be like compliant, 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 right? And then build momentum. So start with your small dollar quick buy turns, maybe, right? Stack up those wins, and then go for some of those longer contracts when you build that momentum up, right?
Yep, absolutely. So narrow your lane, obviously price to win, beat the lead times, and build performance momentum, like you mentioned, right? Great. So, what if we're not ready to prime a huge vehicle? What do you do then?
Okay, so if you're not ready to be a prime, that's okay. The DLA's ecosystem actually runs sort of on layers. So subcontractors feed these prime vendors, right? There is a DLA subcontracting directory where you can go find major IDIQ holders. So that's a good place to start. There's mentor-protege partnerships that boost your past performance. Again, systems access, so you might qualify for a mentor-protege thing, but teaming agreements of all kinds, right? Forming teaming agreements for bundled or regional buys, troop support, or energy. A lot of times those things bundle together. Those subcontractors wins count towards your record, right? So every time that you deliver appropriately as a subcontractor, that's your past performance. And eventually you will get to be the prime.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, that's great.
Maybe you want to live forever as a subcontractor too. That's fine. You can make your money.
I mean, whatever your business goals are, that's kind of what you're gonna want to have to work for, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and again, the DLA and this topic is extremely complex. There's a lot more that goes on in the back end, right? But we just wanted to create a quick video just because, again, we foresee this being something popular in 2026 as, the government is doing its thing. All right, Sarah. So then, obviously we talked about DLA contracts in depth here. So what are some things that are common pitfalls in this space?
So solid vendors can get tripped up. And I guess probably some of the reasons that you might lose your DLA bid would be like, obviously, if you don't have your NAICS codes matching or you let your SAM registration expire. Promising delivery times that you can't meet, right? So your logistics on the back end got to be good. Missing tiny packaging details that cause you depot rejections, which is then basically delivery times that you can't meet, right? When you get rejected. Right. Ignoring that spurs the SPARS score. Low scores are going to kill your credibility. You got to keep them up. Or, skipping some of those like C folders because they're too complicated and missing critical drawings in the process.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's a good foundation for people to understand a little bit more about DLA contracts. Like I said, if there's people out there who need help with DLA contracts or any help with government contracts, we're here at SAS-GPS. We're more than happy to help you guys out. Sarah is always available to help out.
Day or night. But yeah, I think the DLA can be a good growth engine for people. And we're happy to help you get all that paperwork together if you need us to.
Sarah, thank you so much for your time. As always, sharing the gold. And we'll see you next time.